Hello and welcome to Taking You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I'm your host, JP John Posh, from the two-man power trip. Of course, joining me, the star of the show, the former WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire himself, Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great today, John. Crazy day.
Hello, Jason, right off the top. Hello,
Yeah,
Jason.
good for Jason. Thanks.
Nice. What is going on in the world of the JPWA right now?
We got our week off and we're getting ready to come back strong Monday. So just a lot of things going on.
Now, 25 years ago, basically a few days ago, but it was 25 years ago on Monday Night Raw, you and Double J Jeff Jarrett versus China and Deborah. You guys ended up losing in about a minute or so, which is crazy, but that's the sign of the times back then. But do you remember this at all? Do you remember you and Double J teaming up against China and Deborah?
Yes, I do. And I thought it was ridiculous then. I think it's ridiculous now.
Wow, you're not a
So
fan. Not a fan of that.
did it sound like I'm a fan?
No, definitely
Just
not.
curious. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan. Wasn't a fan then, not at all.
They have had you be the scab referee before that. It's a very interesting time. And then obviously Jeff had that whole feud going on with all the women. Remember, he's beating up Moolah and Mae Young and then feuding with China. Jeff had got a lot of heat for that, right? All that stuff back then.
Well, it was like you said, it was a sign of the times. So crazy times and crazy days back then.
Phil, good evening. Happy hump day. Yes.
What a happy hump day, man.
The modern day cowboy himself, Mitch Miller. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening.
Yeah, a lot of people, hey, there's been a lot of people have been
Good.
suffering from the floods down around here. So,
Yeah, how have you guys been doing?
well, we've been okay. Knoxville didn't get so much, but Asheville and all those people around there sure did. So, we've been keeping up with that. And it's going to be a crazy, crazy world for those guys to adjust to. Some people are living in their carports right now.
Wow,
Houses,
Jesus.
yeah. Yeah. So,
Crazy.
yeah.
Scorch, R.I.P. Pete Rose, WB Hall of Fame inductee 2004. I was born and raised in Cincinnati, and I am a lifelong Pete Rose fan.
Well, I wasn't a lifelong Pete Rose fan myself, but I was a fan of Pete Rose. I got to meet him when he first came in. Seemed like a nice guy.
Pretty awesome that he was like it seemed like a big wrestling fan, or like he got so into it. Like he got so into the character. Obviously, he's making fun of the people in Boston. I'd leave tickets for Bill Buckner, but he couldn't bend down to pick him up. Like he just
Uh,
very very funny stuff. Like he loved it. He got beat up by Kane 2 years in a row, so he was into it.
yeah, yeah. I think anybody that comes to WWE or WWF at that time finds out how fun it can be. I think most athletes have a good time when they come in. Most.
He seemed like a really good sport about it. Was he fun like backstage and stuff?
Yeah, yeah. It really was.
Mitch has a great Pete Rose line. The city of losers. How about it? Remember he kept saying, "How about it?"
Well, yeah. How about it?
Also, just some news I thought you'd be interested in. The NWA will be appearing on X. Billy said going forward, so it's going to be on X, the formerly known as Twitter, which just seems like it's taken over with a lot of the stuff with Tucker Carlson and all those other people on X. So Billy Corgan's got NWA on X now.
So what does that mean? You can watch NWA on X only, or no more CW app?
No more CW app. Nope, because because of NXT.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I
so no
was
longer CW. So it's on X, and I guess eventually they're going to put some stuff on YouTube again as well.
okay. Well, good for the NWA.
The X seems like the place to be for a lot of different things. It seems to be ever growing with Elon Musk at the helm.
So you go to X and you go to the NWA and you can watch the entire program.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Well, that
I
makes
just
sense.
I just saw Blue Meanie with Billy Corgan in the ring celebrating.
Yes. Yes, he was at the ECW arena.
Is it true that Shane Douglas didn't want to go. Is that true?
I
That he
have no
declined?
idea. I have
Billy
no
said he
idea.
declined the invitation.
Well, if Billy said he declined, then he declined. But I have no idea. I wasn't privy to that information.
It was kind of funny seeing Billy dance like Blue Meanie, though. I got to be honest. Didn't expect that from Billy.
Well, I think it's infectious. You can't help but dance like Blue Meanie when Blue Meanie's around. You know,
Hey, it's Barbara. Hello. So good to see you. Hope you're having a good
Barbara,
week.
we missed you last week. Didn't we miss Barbara last week?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Good.
As far as AEW is concerned, just want to mention this too because this is pretty topical. They just signed a deal again, 5 years continuing with Warner Brothers Discovery to continue to be on TBS TNT, and now they'll also be on Max as well. So they'll be streaming on cable, and they'll be on cable and streaming on Max as well at the same time. They'll also be adding pay-per-views to Max for a discounted fee for
Really?
anybody who's interested in pay-per-views. Yes,
Well, good. Good for them then. I
they
mean,
haven't.
yeah, I haven't seen AEW for a long time, uh, but it seems like they're making strides.
Very good financially. I heard, we don't know for sure. It's supposedly it's 150 million a year for the deal. No more Rampage. So it'll be Collision and Dynamite with some other stuff mixed in, and obviously the pay-per-views are obviously mixed into that as well, and that's why they're giving them more money per year. So good deal for AEW.
So was Rampage on Wednesday nights or Saturday nights?
Friday nights it was on. It was kind of a waste. It was 1 hour on Friday night. Always got terrible ratings, so probably good to sunset that and get rid of it because it wasn't doing anything for them.
Well, I'm good. Get rid of it.
Very interesting though that Max is a part of it too, because obviously people kept saying they want to be able to stream or stream the pay-per-view. So good on them.
Well, good for them. I hope they do well.
Also, just throw this in there that hasn't been mentioned by a lot of people before, except for maybe like Bischoff and maybe Wrestling Inc. or maybe a few other people. But AEW, or excuse me, Warner Brothers Discovery has AEW stake. They've stake in the company as well. And it says in the press release they will continue to have stake in the company. So Warner Brothers owns part of AEW, which hasn't really been reported on much.
Well, then again, it looks like they're positioning themselves for a better time frame, better channel. So
Yep.
good for them.
So you had to give up a little bit. This is probably years ago and just never covered or talked about for whatever reason. But they probably had to give up stake to get on the channel to begin with. That's my guess.
Yeah. Well, but it only makes sense, I think.
Did you happen to see Shane McMahon have the picture with Tony Khan a few weeks ago when he was? I guess they met up, had a nice little meeting together.
Tony Khan, yes.
And Shane McMahon, yeah. And then Shane McMahon was at the airport with the Young Bucks hanging out.
I saw that too.
Do you think he could be a part of this new AEW? What's going on here? Do you think Shane ends up in AEW? That'd be nuts.
Well, I tell you, wrestling is nuts right now. And anything can happen. Anything's possible. Anything's possible. But it could also be just chance meetings at the airport. And the Young Bucks just said, hey, would you pose with us? I mean, it could be that too.
Yeah. When was the first time you met Shane?
1993.
Oh, so right when you first came in.
Yeah, it was Shane. Nice guy. I like Shane. In fact, he'd be my favorite McMahon.
Wow. Damn.
Is that a shock?
No, actually not really, because I feel like a lot of people would probably agree with you.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a guy. Hell of a guy.
Yes,
I just feel bad for him after watching the McMahon doc. I kind of feel bad for him a bit.
Why do you feel bad for him?
Because he was basically, even on the doc, he basically said when they're interviewing him, like, man, you used to take a lot of crazy bumps. Like you used to fall this, get hurt yourself, do this, and he's like, man, all I was looking for was a pat on the back from my dad. Never got it except for once, or like a hug or something. So he was trying to impress his dad. He was trying to move up in the company, and his dad was just like, "You're gonna have to take a knife and kill me to take my spot." Like interesting, odd behavior. Some things ever
Well,
said.
yeah, I think the whole McMahon deal is odd behavior anyway. But be that as it may, he eventually got his hug and pat on the back because it was on the McMahon documentary, Mr. McMahon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Did you know Shane would hype the Raw crowds in '94 off camera? There was footage of him talking to the Macho Man minutes before putting on his headset.
I didn't know that, but I could have forgot. In fact, I did if I knew.
What do you think about him having to do all those different jobs? Like, I bet Stephanie probably didn't have to do any of that type of stuff.
No, I think Stephanie had to do jobs around the office and work her way in too. I think it was equal opportunity. Uh, whatever the word is, equal opportunity uh, attention. You had to earn your way in with Vince.
So he's, refereeing, he's getting the coats, he's hyping up the crowd before the show. He's doing, a million different things as far as what we could see in front of the camera, or like in the arena. Stephanie was more at the office, basically.
Right, but I think Stephanie wanted to be in the arena.
Doing what Shane was doing?
Well, she was a performer too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think she would love to be in the arena. Not necessarily doing what Shane was doing, but doing what she was doing.
Very interesting, just like the dynamic. Like, would you say Stephanie was the favorite over Shane?
I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that's been insinuated through the years and probably insinuated on this bio that they just did, or documentary. Was it a bio or documentary?
They call it documentary.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it was implied or imploded, whatever you want to say.
Do you think Shane should have a top position in the WWE, even with his dad gone? It is a McMahon company for decades.
Well, I'm not so sure Shane would. No, I take that back. Shane could coexist with anybody probably, but you have to have like-minded ideas, I think, or have people who are willing to listen to your ideas. And I don't know if people in charge right now would be interested in listening to his ideas. I could be wrong because I'm not there, but I think Shane should have a top position wherever he's at. He's a smart guy.
Mitch, X has an amazing wrestling community from fans all around the world. Great way to interact with people. So Mitch is really putting over X.
Well, good. I hope it helps the NWA. I really do hope it helps the NWA greatly.
It has helped Tucker, because it's funny. Tucker was on Fox, right? Fox News, and he was great. Now he's basically number one news outlet in the world, and it was literally not when he was on Fox News, when he's on X. So, hopefully that helps.
Well, let's hope so. I'd like to see the NWA really surge this year.
Please ask Dr. Tom if he was a fan of Chris Christopherson, R.I.P. Chris Christopherson.
I was, and did you know that his son actually trained at FCW? I think Jody.
No,
yeah,
no.
His son actually trained at FCW. Sure did.
Did he ever Did he ever continue on?
No, he made it through FCW and then got released.
Wow, damn! You figure that maybe they would have liked that he was, Chris's son, and pump him up.
Well, you have to also know what you're doing in the ring. So I don't know exactly what happened on that, but he wasn't there very long.
Did you think he had potential?
Potential only takes you so far, and you have to get it. You have to You have to understand what you're doing. You have to. There's a lot of elements that people don't understand and see behind the scenes. And maybe he was just one of those guys that I always got along with him. But maybe he's one of those guys who maybe knew what the game was but wasn't ready to play. And I can understand wholeheartedly.
Jody Christopherson, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, I think that was his name, Jody.
R.I.P. Christopherson, a Renaissance man, says Phil. A Renaissance man for sure.
Yep. Yeah, talented guy.
Magazine retriever. Today, Dory Funk Jr. at age 83 isn't quite as nimble in the ring as Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young were in the 80s when they were in their 80s when they worked with Jeff Jarrett. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Dory Funk Jr. was a great NWA World Champion, but at age 83, I don't think any of us are going to be quite as nimble in the ring. And Moolah and Mae Young were different athletes, different kind of people.
Did you know that Dory Funk Jr. wrestled in August?
Yes, in a death match in Japan. Yes, death match.
Crazy, right?
Crazy, but you know what? The Funks were crazy in a good way. They were the guys I watched growing up, and they're the ones who made me want to be a wrestler.
It was a part of the Terry Funk Memorial and Onita 50th Anniversary Kawasaki Legend 2024 show at the Kawasaki Stadium in Kawasaki, Japan. Double Hell Current Explosion Death Match. Dory Funk Jr. and Nishimura defeated Onita and Yaguchi. Gotta love that.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Why not have a death match at 83?
Pretty crazy that Moolah and especially Mae Young would take those insane bumps at their age. Even Jarrett, he didn't take it easy on them at all. Like he would really hit them.
Yeah. No, they told him to. They told him to better lay it in. Yeah.
Wow, man, tough
Yeah.
cookies here, these two.
Tough little broads.
Yeah, man. You figure it would be like more, comedy or whatever, but they were kind of, I don't know. They, even though you could consider it comedy, they were very, very serious.
Yeah. And then they took the business seriously all the way through.
Ibsen would like to know what became of Double J and his promotion, Global Force Wrestling. He hyped it up for months and nothing came of it.
I'm not sure what happened to that. I mean, it might just be one of those things at wrong timing, wrong place, wrong time.
Well, they ran a ton of shows. They had not almost had TV, but they taped a ton of shows for Global Force at one point.
Yeah, but obviously it didn't last.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing was, remember he ended up getting scooped up by WWE at one point. So obviously you can't have your own promotion and be at WWE. And then he was working backstage, and and then obviously now he's with AEW. So
yeah, Jeff's going to land on his feet no matter what he does. Jeff is a smart guy. He knows what to do. He knows, at least given that entrepreneurship, he started his own promotion. He went to AEW and he loves the business, so got to give it to him.
it is still technically around because didn't they run a baseball stadium or something? They ran a show, and didn't they have a private show with somebody paid for, and it was like Jarrett and Scott Steiner were on it.
They
So
might have.
yeah, so I think they're still technically a thing, I guess, but it just seemed like,
yeah. Is it an LLC?
oh, I don't know.
Okay.
But they did run a bunch of shows. They did have their own promotion for a little bit. Then remember they even were part of TNA for a little bit before obviously Jeff and TNA parted ways. They try to work together again. So I know it's been kind of like touch and go with Global Force.
Yeah. Who knows what Jeff wants to do with it?
And now he's got his own website, I guess you could say. It's like almost like a news aggregator. It's just globalforcewrestling.com.
Oh, okay. Well, there you have it.
From Check MP. What's up, everyone? Check MP.
Hmm.
Ibsen, you were in the WWF when Double J sang "With My Baby Tonight." Did everyone know that it wasn't not him actually singing? Did the office tell the talent about it?
I don't think the office had to tell the talent about it. Talent knew. It was double. It was Road Dogg. You know, Jeff didn't sing. Road Dogg sang.
So
So
you knew.
yes, yes, I knew. Yeah, Jeff didn't sing. Road Dogg sang. Road Dogg's a talented guy.
Jeff, I don't know if he could quite pull that off like Road Dogg can. You know what I mean? Road Dogg's got a great voice.
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
Barbara said prayers go out to the hurricane victims. I hope Dr. Tom is okay.
We're okay here. I had a few friends in Asheville and North Carolina or South Carolina, Greenville, who are still without power. Because one guy in his family is living under his carport right now. They don't have any water, no running water, no lights, no electricity, no nothing. So pretty tough out there for those guys.
Yeah, jeez. Terrible.
Yeah.
Phil is saying Stephanie had to learn different aspects. My friend who worked at Titan trained her in the video department, so she was working the office there.
Yeah, she had to go through the paces too.
Please ask Dr. Tom if they're doing a part 2 of the McMahon documentary. There's so much more that needs to be said.
I don't know if they're doing a part two or not, but I thought they did enough for part one or 6 episodes, 8 episodes,
Six.
six,
Six. Yep.
six.
Did you finish
Yeah,
them all?
I did.
What did you think?
It was to me. It was just the same old rehashing that everybody's heard before. Seriously, there's nothing, and I'd heard that there was nothing new, but even to look at it and watch it, hear it, um, nothing shocking in there for me.
That was my big complaint. If you are, I don't know, more of a hardcore fan like myself and like know a lot of it, it's like you're not going to learn any new information.
There's nothing to learn. Yeah, you already knew it.
And they kind of teased, like with the commercial and the trailer, that we're going to learn new information or that they had some stuff that we may not know. And I don't know, maybe I missed it, but I didn't find anything in there that there was something I didn't know.
Well, I don't think they were doing it for wrestling fans. I think they were doing it for somebody who's looking for something to watch on Netflix and a casual fan. Want to know about Vince. He doesn't follow the dirt sheets or the websites and doesn't know that much.
It was at about 5 million views. It was in the top 10. So obviously people were watching, and it seems like not just wrestling fans were watching.
Right. So, I mean, they had to have something for the casual fan in there. And I think if you never heard it before, it might be a little catchy and you might be interested, but there's nothing new.
Tucker is fearless, Phil was saying about Tucker Carlson, your boy Tucker.
My boy Tucker. Yeah, my boy Tucker. I was just listening to him talk about, doing drugs and drinking and things like that in his early days. He was a
Oh,
wild man. Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. You didn't know that about Tucker?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy in his early days.
From Dell, I like Vince McMahon on color commentary. He knew how to build up the wrestlers by being so dramatic on the mic. Did you like Vince on commentary?
I like Monsoon and Ventura on commentary. That was my favorite announce team. Then you had Bobby and Gorilla, and that was my second favorite. But I thought Jesse and Gorilla made a good team, and I thought Vince just played his part, filled in.
I feel like he was great just as far as I don't know. It kind of depends. Him and Jesse were good. Him and Heen were okay together. But I feel like him and Jesse were good. But I feel like he was great at just getting over enthusiasm, or like kind of getting the guy over, not necessarily calling the action, but just like his excitement level. He always kind of was good at selling the matches.
Yeah, and as you can tell, it's not easy to get excited sometimes.
Yeah,
So Vince knew when to turn it up.
and he would love to say, "Oh, what a maneuver," instead of actually saying what the move was. For
Yeah,
whatever reason, I don't know why he thought that was a good idea, but yeah,
because he didn't know what to have a Corona superstar
yeah.
frog splash over the starfish and the moon sailed over the wind or something. He didn't know how to describe all that. So what a maneuver kind of fit it all.
He, I don't know. I feel like he was great, but obviously stuff like that. Maybe you should know, all the moves and the holds. But hey,
Why should he know all the moves and holds? It's going to change anyway. And how can you remember all that? How can I? This is what amazes me sometimes is how everybody knows the certain hold, the certain hold and certain move. When somebody else will do it and call it something completely different. I've seen that done, like the black hole slam, and then they put their own name or own connotation to it. So it's the same move. It's just called something else, and I don't know how you couldn't get confused learning all that stuff. So Water Maneuver kind of covered it all for me.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. Hmm.
Please ask Dr. Tom if it would have been a better idea to turn superstar face and have him have him do the job Hulk Hogan did. Hogan did copy Superstar. Thank you. What do you think about that? Instead of Hogan, we get Superstar as a babyface.
Well, I think Superstar was a different. Well, I don't think I know. Superstar was a different kind of guy than Hogan, and while he looked great, um, he didn't look like Hulk Hogan. And I don't know if Superstar was the easiest guy in the world to deal with, and that could have been the reason why he didn't get the job. Hulk Hogan did it. It wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right place. It's the right place, just wasn't the right time. And I don't know. I don't know how it would have turned out, but I think Hogan was the right guy for that, for what he
And
did.
Super and Superstar was basically done in '87. I mean, Hogan, if you look at it, I mean, the end of his career was, I mean, I guess you could say 2011, 2012, but really 2006 is his last WWE match. So I mean, that's
Right.
20 years after the fact.
Right. So I mean, it just wouldn't have worked.
People do say that though. I remember Kevin Sullivan. He used to always talk about that. He's like, they should have gave it to Superstar. Like he could have been the champ instead of Backlund, and then it would have kind of set them in a different path. That Backlund was a little boring, although he liked Backlund. He was just saying compared to Superstar, Superstar had way more charisma. He was just way more of a star.
Yeah, but that was the dynamic of the business back then because Vince Senior had already, I guess, I don't know if he promised, but he had the vision for Backlund to be that All American boy and try that up there. So uh, that's what I mean. The timing for Superstar, he had his time and he was charismatic and he was like no other champion they'd had up to then. So I think it just wasn't the right place, wasn't the right time for Superstar. He had it already.
Vince McMahon Sr. kind of had his mind set that he was going to get Backlund over and that the title change was going to happen. That it wasn't like he was organically listening to the fans, even though Superstar was pretty damn over. It was just like he was kind of dead set on making Backlund into this star. He said, "You're going to be champ for 5 years," or whatever. Whatever. He basically was like dead set on it, no matter what.
Yeah, and it was his territory, so it was okay for him to be dead set on it. But I think they found out, they loaded the cards when Backlund was on top just to make sure he had a good
Yep.
house.
Yep.
So there you have it.
This is going to be a very interesting question here. I'm not sure how you're going to take this. Um, But I got to ask it. It is from Drunk Guy. He says, I want to just thank Tom for all the memories of the heavenly bodies. Just curious how Jimmy Del Rey is. I haven't heard much.
Since Jimmy died a few years ago, no longer with us.
About 10
So
years ago, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
The
why.
first part, the the first part is great though.
Well, sure it is, but
Thank you for the memories of the heavenly bodies. The second part, he hasn't heard much from Del Rey. Well,
well, he's a drunk guy,
yeah.
so there you go.
There was a video. Damn, I should have sent it to you. There was a video somebody made on X last week, and it was like it might have been Rob Naylor that posted it of all people, the legendary Rob Naylor. All the tag team moves of the Heavenly Bodies, and they had said way ahead of their time. And I was like, I totally agree. They were awesome.
Well, most of those were Jimmy Del Rey's, so he was awesome. Jimmy was awesome.
Yeah, but you guys are doing the flip together. Like
Mhm.
he'll pick you, or you'll pick him up. So they're tag team moves though.
Yeah, yeah. We'd talk, but I mean, a lot of it was Jimmy coming off the top rope. Jimmy doing a lot of stuff. Jimmy had to dance. Jimmy was, I think, highly underrated. And when he first came in, people just looked at him and said, "Oh no, this guy's going to suck." Then he got in the ring, started working with the Rock and Roll Express, and he earned everybody's respect. So, yeah.
And to bring up Sully again, Sully kind of was the one that told Cornette that this guy, Jimmy
Yeah.
Backlund, is really good. And Cornette wasn't so sure. And he's like, trust me, he's great or whatever. You might not look it, but he's great. He's a great worker. He's a great athlete.
Yeah, he walked in the first night smoking a cigarette with one tooth missing. Yeah. Everybody just looked at him like, what the hell? We went out to somewhere after the show, and he was just a different person than I was. When I walk in someplace, I want to check it out. I want to see who's in the back. I want to see who's in the front, to the side. And I want to get the lay of the land first, and maybe have a drink and watch what's going on. Jimmy wants to let everybody know we're there, man. And I was like, yeah, no. So
I'm with you there. ATF Media. I heard Israel's Minister of Defense say they fired missiles as if they were punched by the hands of stone Ronnie Garvin. Can anybody confirm? Wow.
well, I will confirm that. That is true. Ronnie told me himself.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie's pretty intense. So yeah, he's they fired missiles if they were punched by the hands of stone Ronnie Garvin. Well, no doubt. I wouldn't want to be punched by Ronnie Garvin.
No, me neither. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Modern day cowboy says Willie is still standing. Country music outlaw, last one left.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be a crying shame when he falls.
Jason, I thought Global Force was TNA only renamed. I guess I was wrong. No, Jeff actually, when he broke apart from TNA, created Global Force Wrestling.
Yeah. So I guess you were wrong, Jason. It's all right.
Yes. Roger F says Millie Vanilli didn't sing.
I beg to differ, Roger. Milli Vanilli is my favorite group when they were out.
Vince McMahon about, I guess talking about Janelle here. He says Vince McMahon claimed she had a potty mouth.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Interesting. I can never find with my baby tonight on karaoke night. Wow, that should be like a staple of karaoke night. You would think, right? With
Oh,
my
I
baby
would
tonight.
think, sure. I would think so. I would think any self-respecting karaoke bar would have a copy of "With My Baby Tonight." I would hope so.
You should have like or they should have the Jim Johnston, like the whole all of his songs. They should have that raring and ready to go.
Well, they should, but obviously, old Mitch is having a hard time finding it.
That would be a great song, like karaoke night. Maybe Hogan's Hangout, which probably is not even there right now because of the damn hurricane, but maybe they would have it down there for when they used to do karaoke night. But
Did Hogan's shop get hit?
yeah, it looked like it, big time.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, because I had some friends in Tampa I checked on too. They said they weren't hit, but
it looked like Clearwater Beach, right where the Hogan's Hangout is. Looked like it got hit pretty bad.
that's terrible. That's terrible.
Roger is saying Janelle was caught off guard when Vince was talking about Bad News Brown. Definitely.
Are we talking about Janelle here? It says she was caught off guard. Is that what he's talking about?
Definitely a poop joke. It's got to be with Vince. Remember, that whole thing.
I'm trying to forget.
Alex Costantino, were you there for the Batista versus Booker T fight?
No, I think
Backstage.
that was on. No, I don't think that was backstage. I think that was on location for a commercial shoot or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
you weren't there?
Nope. Was not.
I heard somebody talking about the fight, and Batista said that somebody sucker punched him, and that's why he lost, or something like that. And somebody else had to tell him, no, that was still Booker T. He would just he kicked your ass. Like he thought somebody else hit him while Booker T hit him. I guess that's how like loopy he was from Booker. But yeah, obviously Batista's a big, tough guy. But man, I've heard stories about Booker T. Do not mess with Booker. I've heard.
No, I wouldn't mess with Booker. I wouldn't suggest anybody mess with Booker.
And even Batista, I mean, he was a lot bigger than him too. So I mean,
well, bigger doesn't mean tougher.
Yeah, definitely not. No, we know that. We know that. Look at you and Bruce. You're a lot tougher than Bruce. Barbara McMahon got very excited when Dr. David Schultz shot the shotgun right next to him. Do you remember that when they were doing that vignette, that little interview, and he took the shotgun and he shot it off?
Yeah, well, I'd be excited too if David Schultz was shooting anything anywhere near me.
I've had a feeling that Vince was like not excited, but it seemed like very nervous. Like he didn't know what the hell Schultz was going to do. Like somebody got this gun away from this guy.
Well, only Vince and Dave know.
Alex, who would win in a shoot fight, no rules, Harlem Heat or the Steiner brothers? I've asked multiple people and always get a 50-50 response.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, they're both, or all four of those guys are pretty tough. I don't know who'd win. I hate to even say.
How about this? Since it's going to be 50-50, I'll take the Steiner brothers. You take Harlem Heat. So we continue the 50-50 response.
Sure, let's continue that.
Yeah. But yeah, Stevie Ray, another guy I heard, insanely tough. Obviously, Steiner brothers, we know their reps. So yeah, that would be a really barn burner. I'm sure they wouldn't fight each other, but that's a barn burner right there.
Well, I hope it doesn't burn down too many barns.
A while back, I saw WB owned business outside of wrestling. I think one of those companies had to do with real estate. Is this true? WB owning.
I don't have a clue, but it would make sense that other companies outside of wrestling, but I have no idea what they own, especially now.
Drunk guy said he never knew. He's sorry about Jimmy Del Rey. He never knew that he had passed.
Well, that's okay, drunk guy. You're drunk, and that's okay. It's
Yeah,
all right to live your life like that.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. Sure.
Modern Day Cowboy said RVD said Jimmy was the first wrestler he smoked a J with. R.I.P. Jimmy.
I don't know, man. I don't know about that. But if he says so.
Roger, he's on fire right now. Vince McMahon claimed that he named Rikishi's finishing move after the complaint. Wow.
Right.
Stink face. The stink face. Wow. Technically not his finisher, though. To be honest, it was just a setup move. But yes, wow. Talking about the stink face here.
Very good, Roger.
Did you see Rhea Ripley a few months ago on a house show? Actually, maybe it was many months ago now. But she was doing the stink face on house shows.
I missed that.
Oh, had the internet up in arms. They were loving her even more than they already love her already after seeing the videos.
No, I missed that.
Yeah, check them out.
Yeah,
check them out. Jason said another company was WB Jet Set Services. Yeah, I'm not even sure. That would be interesting. I could see them getting their hand into other stuff.
Yeah.
Hell, he tried his hand in football, movies. I mean, he tried his hand in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that only makes sense to invest and diversify, I guess.
crappy hockey arenas in New Haven, Connecticut. I mean, they were, around that area. I mean, he invested in a lot of interesting things.
Yeah. So makes perfect sense.
Paul Shaw. Like Nash said, the Steiners would suplex you until you gave up. He said nobody would fight them.
I don't think anybody wanted to fight him.
Except for the Heavenly Bodies.
Sure. We fought him.
Mitch said they've real American beer over at
Yeah.
the Hogan's Hangout, which is awesome. Barbara's saying if a wrestler gets a receipt for something he's done in the past, is that the end of it? Or do they try to retaliate again? Thank you.
Most of the time, if you potato somebody, you get a receipt, and that's the end of it. Unless you're a real dickhead.
So the receipt, boom, bing, bang, it's agreed, it's over.
That's it. You potato me, I receipt you back. That's all it is. Just a receipt. Don't continue it.
Drunk guy, I bought my own copy of Don't Go Messing with a Country Boy to karaoke, and all the ladies got up dancing. True story. Wow, look at Drunk guy. Nice.
Well, that's a dancing song. Don't go messing with a country boy, country boy, country boy. Don't go messing with a country boy. I'll beat your ass to death. Something like that.
Yeah, I could see that. People getting up and dancing for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Drunk guy said true story. I believe drunk guy in this one.
Me too.
And that's what Mitch needs to do. He needs to bring a copy of Jarrett's song and say, hey, this is going to be my karaoke song for the night, and then do it that way.
Yeah.
Can't rely on anybody.
No. Can't have nothing nice.
Scorch. Dr. D. David Schultz would probably be a scarier bounty hunter than he was a pro wrestler. There were fewer constraints on him as a bounty hunter. What do you think about that statement?
Well, I think David Schultz was a scary guy no matter what. But as a bounty hunter, I wouldn't want him coming after me trying to bring me back to jail.
Man, from the stories that obviously are in his book and from when I asked him about it, I mean, there's some crazy stories of him as a bounty hunter and stuff that he would do and how they would say, oh, we're not going after this guy. He's too dangerous. He would be like, that's the guy I want to get. Like he liked to get the most dangerous guys.
Well, I think Dave was a little crazy, more than a little crazy. I heard how he broke in with Herb Welch and he'd be beating up all the guys. And they finally had to smarten him up because they were beating up all the guys that were coming to train him. So they finally said, they're killing us. He's killing us. So we need to smarten him up. So they did.
Dr. D, he's the man. Barbara, all the wrestlers say Ming Haku is the toughest. Why do people in the bars try to fight him? Seems very foolish.
When you're drunk, you're foolish, as we've seen tonight with Drunk Guy. Some guys get liquor courage in them and they want to fight the biggest, baddest dude in the room. So, I'm not saying drinking's really the smartest thing to do and get in a fight with a real tough guy.
When you look at it, though, maybe they don't even know who he is. You know what I mean? Like, because he's kind of quiet. He's kind of quiet to himself, reserved. Probably don't even know who he is.
They might not, but that's stupid on their part to go messing with a guy who even looks like him.
Right. And usually the quiet ones are the most dangerous, so they should realize that.
Yeah, but when you're drunk, you don't realize a whole lot. Like when Jimmy don't raise dead.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any contact with Cowboy Bill Watts in the past year or so? Hope he's doing well. He's getting up there.
I haven't talked to Bill Watts. I talked to Bill maybe 5 years ago about doing an interview. And we were going to do it. Then the guy who wanted to do it backed out. So I haven't talked to him in a while.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
I talked to Eric Watts not that long ago, and he said Bill was doing pretty good. So, interesting.
Yeah.
Bill, he would be, I mean, I know he definitely is getting up there. He would be a great interview now, even. He would be great.
Yeah. But the guy who wanted to do it backed out.
Damn him.
Yeah.
What a fool. What a fool.
Mm.
Bill speaks highly of the doctor. Wow. All right. So did you and Bill Watts get along?
Yeah, he's the one who turned me heel. He's the one who gave me an opportunity when I was going through. I was going through a rough patch, let's say, and he came back and sat down with me and says, Have you ever thought about being a heel?" And I said, "Every day." He goes, "Yeah, I can see that when you walk to the ring." And he turned me heel against Tim Horner and gave me the opportunity to be a heel. So yeah, it's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to give a receipt, and who was it?
Not too many receipts, man. I mean, it was just I was either too stupid to think somebody was stiffing me. I just thought that was the way the match went. Um, Stan Hansen liked his stiff. I worked with Stan in Japan, 6-man tag, and it never hurt, but it was just stiff. So you just gave it back. But guys like Tim Horner or Tony Anthony, Brad Armstrong was the lightest guy I ever worked with, next to his dad Bob. But no, I never really had to give a receipt. I never looked at it as anybody was trying to potato me. It just happens. And if it did, it did.
Well, so not even Jackie Fulton? You didn't give him a receipt?
Yeah, I take that back. When he kicked me in the head in the face, I did give him a receipt, but I think he was too stupid too to know that. Yeah, he thought I was just being stiff.
Right. It's like
Yeah,
you
I
dumbass,
forgot
you
about
hurt
I
my
forgot
neck.
about
Yeah.
Jackie. Yeah, yeah, I forgot all about Jackie. I try to forget about those days.
You will be happy to know that Roger's proctologist worked for Roto-Rooter.
Outstanding.
Little comedy there from
Well,
little comedic
look at
flavor
his
from
picture. Look at his
yeah,
picture there. It looks great.
yeah. Yeah. Uh, Years ago, we wait in the parking lot to say hello to wrestlers before the matches. Not one person approached Dr. D. David Schultz or even made eye contact. He's huge. He's very scary.
Yeah, he was. He was very huge and very scary. I agree.
He's still a little intimidating.
Yeah, yeah, he really is. I agree.
And believe it or not, he does text message, and he's still a little intimidating by text message. Got to be honest. So
Really?
yeah, he's a scary guy. He's a scary dude.
Well, in that case, I'd stay away from him.
Sir Blue, hi guys.
Sir Blue?
Watts has more stories than the Bible.
Yes, he does. I agree.
Do you think Haku will make an appearance in WWE soon with the new bloodline?
You never know. I mean,
Makes
he's at
sense.
WrestleMania. Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
His two kids, right? Tama and Tongaloa. And
Right?
then apparently they signed his other son, Hikuleo. He's supposedly going to be in NXT. So they got three of his kids.
Yeah. Good for them.
It would make perfect sense.
Yep.
And hey, if The Rock's coming back, who do you think Rock is obviously cousins and buddies with? Haku loves that guy. So yeah, I could see Haku coming back.
Me too. Sure can.
Magazine said I once saw Haku at a bar and thankfully I heard about his reputation, so I didn't drink that night. Smart.
Smart move. Smart move.
He's a wealth of knowledge. Talking about Bill. He's a true learning tree, just like Chris Jericho.
Yes, he is.
From Dell, is it true Buzz Sawyer likes to legitimately hurt people in the ring?
I don't know if he liked to legitimately hurt anybody in the ring. I worked with Buzz a few times, and it was just solid. Um, I think with some guys he was probably more careless than others, but I don't know if he liked to just go out there and hurt somebody for the sake of it. He might have. I did watch him stretch a guy one time in Atlanta TV, the old Techwood Studios. They had an amateur guy come in and they put him in there with Buzz after Buzz had just come from the Crystal Palace, hadn't been to bed yet. He still had to do TV, put him in the ring with this guy who had a singlet on, wrestling shoes, had no idea what he was in store for. And Buzz just forearmed him in the face and rubbed his face in the mat. And so I've seen that part of Buzz. But as far as trying to do it to somebody in the business, I don't think so.
The guy say anything, or the guy just quit and left?
The guy just left. He's a big amateur guy, but Ole had brought him in for a trial with Buzz. See if he could hang, I guess.
Corny was a manager, commentator, and part of the WWF creative team in '96. But what's one position you want to see him with in the business? What do you think with Jim Cornette?
I think Jim's a great booker. I think Jim's a great mind. Has great ideas. I think he'd be great on the creative team today too, if they listen to him. But it's a different business, different era, different time.
What are your thoughts on Canada's greatest athlete, Iron Mike Sharp?
I liked Iron Mike Sharp. He was a nice guy. No loopy, but a nice guy. Who's not loopy in this business? I would say, but I like Mike. Good guy.
Did you ever work him or wrestle him?
If I did, it would have been Louisiana. That's where I first met him. I don't recall. I really don't.
Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin was from Canada, so Mike Sharp isn't the greatest athlete from Canada. ATF. Well said.
Good point. Bret Hart will argue that too.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a little guy named Brett that might have a hand in that.
Exactly.
Look at this: pizza or cheesesteak?
Well, I'll always go for the cheesesteak. Sorry.
Yeah. Definitely. Saw a fan in an autograph signing trying to start a fight with Road Warrior Hawk. Wow, security had to remove him quickly. Really stupid to make him mad. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is stupid. A lot of stupid people out there.
Some say Mike Sharp better than Gretzky. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'll say Mike Sharp is better than Gretzky. Sure. I'll go ahead and say that in modern day.
Was he better than Kiniski?
Better than Kiniski? Yeah, well, Kiniski was champion for 3 years, so I don't know.
Does anybody remember Cowboy Frankie Lane?
I do. I do remember Cowboy Frankie Lane.
What are your thoughts? Memories?
Just one of those tall, lanky guys who used the cowboy gimmick. Not that impressive to me.
Friend of Dutch, isn't he? Or wasn't he a friend of Dutchie's?
Probably.
One of his boys?
Probably.
As far as today, let's wrap this bad boy up. Head towards the plug. Follow Dr. Tom on X at Dr. Tom Prichard. Follow me on X and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. Dr. Tom, what else you got going on in this crazy world?
We're just trying to keep up with everybody who's suffering in Carolinas and help them out. JPWA starts back next Monday, and that's really about it.
Anything of note as far as any autograph signings or anything else with Bo James? Any sort of that nonsense going on?
No more nonsense going on.
All right.
Yeah.
You will keep us apprised of all that stuff. Thank you, everybody, for all the questions. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Dr. Tom. We will see everybody right back here next week for Taking to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. See you next week, folks.